Blizzard fans, welcome back to another episode of the Cold Front Podcast. I'm Joey Bonadonna, alongside my co-host BJ Steffen. Already week 7 of the 2026 Indoor Football League season. It's rolling fast, and the Blizzard back to their winning ways with the help of the Frozen Phoenix this week.
Yeah, it was a good game. We played a full, complete game, first time this season, and yeah, it was a good game. Good start for the 1-0 Phoenix.
Yeah, so first game in Green Bay football, UW Green Bay football history. It was really exciting to see you walking into the Resch Center. You have a full pep band. It has that not Friday Night Lights feel, because we've had that in the past, but Saturday. I feel like football on Saturdays. That was awesome to see in the crowd. Obviously, a rally around Green Bay football. That was awesome. But let's talk a little bit about the game itself. And as you mentioned, this was as close as you could get to a 60-minute game. Corey Roberson telling us in the post game, still things he wants to get fixed, still things he wants to get addressed. But that's how Corey operates.
Yes.
But this was a strong win, 55-19. The final, the run game back rolling. Demylan Brown had himself a game. He was the player of the game on all fronts. What did you see from Demylan? And we'll talk about that later here in this segment. But what was so exciting about that performance?
He really has stepped into this running back role. We've had a couple guys try to take it over for Malinagi.
Sammy Malinagi, yeah.
Malinagi. I can never get it to roll off the tongue. But we've had a couple players try to step in, and Brown's really been doing a great job. Obviously, he got player of the week or player of the game for Green Bay's fan vote. He's just stepped in. We brought him in, as a quarterback for training camp, but he's been stepping in and running back just great, and he's been looking good, and hopefully he keeps going from there.
Yeah, Liam Thompson able to make some of the throws he needed to do. He was a strong performer throughout. Demylan Brown getting things going in the running game. The other guy we got to talk to was Cole Stenstrom. He saw his first action coming in that fourth quarter. He's been the second string quarterback, but the coaching staff has been speaking ad nauseum about how he could go out there and play, and it was exciting to see him get some run in that fourth quarter. BJ got a chance to talk to Cole Stenstrom here after the game. Before we dive into that, what were your takeaways from him?
Yeah, he looked great. For first performance of the season, he stepped in pretty well. Had a pick, but it doesn't really matter when you're up 30-something points. So, he played great, and hopefully we don't need to have him play more games unless we're up a ton. But he looked good and easily could take over worst case scenario. So,
well, we got a chance to talk to Cole. Here's BJ's chat with him after the game.
All right, so we're here with Cole Stenstrom. Came in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he walks through your thought process, getting the call. You're going to the field.
For sure. Going into every game, you got to prepare like a starter. Coach Matt does a really good job at preparing us. I think the biggest thing is just staying ready. The coaches let me go on the headset, help communicate defense and, what calls would look good. So helps me stay locked in the game and just, be ready at all times. That's kind of my job right now, my role, and ready to accept things.
Right, just next man up.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So we've seen you on the headset so far this season. Talk to us how that works with you do quarterback coaching as well on the side.
Yeah, I do.
How does that work?
Yeah, so it kind of just happened game one. Matt was like, hey, get on the headset. And then I was like, hey, here's what I see. And I think we have a good relationship where we talk and it's pretty fluid within the game. Like what I see, what he likes. And, me, him and Liam all talk after each drive, so it's a good QB room. We're always on with it together, and there's no one guy over another. And Coach Matt's the main guy, of course. But he lets us talk and use our opinion, which is huge. QB coaching wise, I've been doing it for a long time. So it's fun. It's fun because it's kind of my second passion as long as playing, So
what got you started doing that?
I started doing it in college and then really fell in love with it just because I transitioned. I really focused on my mechanics throughout college, and I took a big jump. And then I just believed in what I was learning and wanted to get involved and made the right connections and just went from there.
That's great. So we saw Demylan Brown have a great game as well. That third quarterback in the offseason.
Yeah.
Coming in as running back, essentially.
Yep.
Talks about that.
Yeah, no, DB is great. I mean, he's still in our meetings as QBs, and he's still in our group chat, so he's texting and stuff. It's great to have him, not only a sense of, like, he's a great athlete and a great runner, but he understands, like, what we're looking at from the quarterback perspective. And now, obviously it takes time to develop into the running back role, but it's cool to have all three of us around because we have a really fun group, and we all support each other, which is huge. Especially at that position, egos can get in the way, but with us, it helps the offense run smooth as we all support each other. So,
sweet. Well, thank you again, Cole.
thank you.
Have a good game. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate Cole for taking some time with us after the win. Ultimately, like we talked about, I don't think you could ask for much more. The defense holding a team below 20 points for the first time this season, largest margin of victory for a team in the IFL so far this season, beating out Fishers with their win over Iowa last week. Iowa trying to change things up. They're 0-4. Changed things up, went with a different starting quarterback. Did not bear much more fruit, but Green Bay takes advantage and they get the win, move to 4-1, and a big one coming up here on Friday. We'll preview that in a second, and it'll give us our chance to go into our icebreaker this week, talking to our special guest from the Orlando Pirates. All right, we're here with Orlando Pirates head coach Rod Windsor. Coach, obviously this has been a bit of a whirlwind here in the last couple of weeks, but the opportunity to take charge of this organization in Orlando, how has this experience been for you?
It's been a little different, a little more time spent, doing things like this, but it's been a little different experience. I'm adjusting to it, and I think the guys on the team are adjusting to it, but I think everything's going pretty smooth so far.
You've been around some championship organizations in your career. Tell me a little bit about your experience here in the indoor game and a little bit into your career.
Was with the Rattlers for a little bit, coaching 2018, 19, and COVID hit, and came back in 21. It was smooth, man. I mean, Coach God taught me a lot. About operations, about, team management, game management, all that good stuff. And, it was a learning experience. Then I got around Coach Moss, and I was able to learn a little more from him. And, he's been with me so far, along this journey. And I think he's been a good job kind of mentoring me into this role. And, I feel it's just a good opportunity for guys like, myself and young guys to, prove themselves, So, I think it's cool. And as far as me, playing, I use one of these leagues. I use one of these leagues up and coming. And, a lot of these guys don't understand the significance of this league. Well, they got the opportunity to move up, and I just kind of used it. I used one of these leagues, so man, it is what it is. But just at the end of the day, man, you just got to come in and work hard and do what you got to do, man, and just use these opportunities that presented to you.
And your team here, a lot of long-standing, some veterans, but also some new faces with your offense here. Paxton DeLaurent taking the quarterback job here at the start of the year. How have you seen and appreciated his growth in that starting quarterback role?
Repeat yourself. I couldn't hear you.
Just about Paxton DeLaurent's growth in the starting quarterback role, taking that job since day one.
Oh man, I mean, in the camp, we had Talia. And he was going into the game, the starter in week 1. And, Paxton just, continued to be a pro. He continued, to prepare like he was a starting quarterback, and he continued to grow as a quarterback. And, Talia ended up getting the call like right before our game in New Mexico. And Paxton came in and won the game for us. So, I mean, just his preparation, his mental capacity for the game, his work ethic. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's out there doing things, you know, normal rookies don't usually do. You know, he's out there, you know, winning games for us. So I think the progression of him is awesome, and he's going to continue to get better. You know, I think he's got a lot of room for potential. You know, he got a lot of room for growth. So he's just only going to get better from here. You know, he's only scratching the surface. So I think, you know, by the time the end of the season, man, you should see a real groove quarterback.
Awesome, Coach. We really appreciate your time telling a little bit about your organization and the steps here into the spot that you're in today, and looking forward to seeing you here in Green Bay here in just a couple days.
All right, cool, man.
That'll take things into our Talking Blizz this week, and we got a chance to sit down with the news center here for the Green Bay Blizzard. It is Jaime Navarro, and this was a special week for him. It was his birthday on Sunday, so you got to celebrate a little bit with a win. Happy belated. We're recording this the week after, but a happy belated birthday to Jaime Navarro, and he was a blast to get a chance to talk to. He's been a blast to get to watch on the field. And Coy Roberson said something this week, and all the talk's been about Liam Thompson stepping up into some big shoes with obviously an MVP quarterback and having to fill that position. He said the shoes that have had to be filled are from this year's team, and that's Jaime Navarro coming into Andrew Carter's spot at center, who Coach Roberson has called the best lineman in the league. Makes me more excited to see what happens when this group can start to come back together healthy. But Jaime, getting to know him, he was great to get a chance to talk to. A little bit of a Hamill fan. We got a chance to talk with him after the win as well.
We're with Blizzard offensive lineman Jaime Navarro. Jaime, good timing, because I hear today is a special day.
Yeah, we won.
You won?
We won.
Is there another thing that's special?
My birthday's tomorrow.
Birthday's tomorrow.
April 19th, yeah.
Well, that counts. We record on April 19th.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go.
after the win against Iowa, you're kind of just diving in a little bit into your story. First year in Green Bay, but this is kind of the common basis of what we talk about. This team feels really close this early in the season. Why is that?
I think this team is cultivated. It starts with the coaching and ownership, and I think they cultivated a really good group of guys that want to play winning football, that care about being on a team that can win and will do the selfless acts in order to win. We have a lot of veteran football players that have played in this game for a year or two and know what it takes to win and know what it takes to build a football team that will win a championship. So kudos to everyone from top to bottom, and everyone's fully invested to give Green Bay a championship.
Coach Roberson spoke this week about, if anyone had the big shoes to fill, it's been you stepping into center to replace Andrew. What's your relationship been like with Drew and getting to step into this role at center?
Yeah, it's a big hole to fill, and Drew is an amazing football player, and I knew that there was somebody that had to, step up, and I took it upon myself to, be that guy. And luckily for him, he's been at my side the whole time. He's been helping me from getting the snap down to a little bit to technique. So it's hard to replace him. So I'm just doing my best. And, luckily he's an amazing guy, very selfless himself to, help give me the tips and tricks to give us the best opportunity to play football, because being a center, you're the ball handler, and it's tough. It's a stressful job, and major props to him and all the other centers that have played center before me. But yeah, super thankful to have him, at my side, and I'm excited for him to be back.
Tell me a little bit about your upbringing through the sport, and what drew you to football?
I was originally like a soccer guy, and I got bigger. Mexicans don't come this big, so I was like, okay, maybe I can get my school paid for. And I was super lucky enough to get a scholarship to play football. I realized I was pretty good at it, and I had a passion for it. I have a passion for playing on a football team. And once I got to become an offensive lineman, I realized, I like being the guy that sacrifices, doesn't get a lot of the limelight, just does what it takes to help the team win a football game. And luckily enough, I've had the opportunity to
keep playing. My body's still healthy. I still have the passion, the drive, and I'm super happy to have been, God's brought me to Green Bay because it's been nothing but amazing.
Yeah, this offseason, a lot of your former teammates from last year in Bay Area coming to the other Bay, coming to Green Bay.
Yeah.
What was this offseason like, and the conversations between you and some of your teammates and coming here to Green Bay?
Yeah, we all care about winning, and we all care about playing for a team that will give us an opportunity to win, because we all love the IFL. We're super thankful to play it, but we all want to play across the street. We all want to move up, as most everyone wants to in this league. And so we were in communication, and we realized after talking to Roberson that Green Bay is a great spot for a lot of us, and we were in communication. And we recruited each other, and we were able to buy into the process, knowing that we were going to be a unit going into a team, not trying to take over the team, but to just incorporate our passions, our drive into what is the Green Bay Blizzard and morph into what we are now, which is still cultivating into a championship team. We're not at our best right now, but luckily we have a lot of guys from the past roster, this roster, rookies that are all coming together to have us play the best football.
One curveball I got to throw at you.
Come on.
What's one fun fact about you want to share with Blizzard Nation?
Oh, one fun fact? I was in my high school musical. So when I was a senior, I was in a musical called The Drowsy Chaperone. I was Feldsick, a lead role. I sung and danced. And I did it in front of my head coach, my mom, my dad, a bunch of friends and family, and that was fun. So I have a little love for the arts.
Hey, I got to admit, I did the same. I was Footloose, all that.
I'm a big Hamilton guy. I do listen to Hamilton before games.
Come on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Favorite Hamilton song?
I honestly, Burn is a great song, but before football games, I like to listen to History Has Its Eyes on You, and oh my God, the Aaron Burr song,
Rumor Happens.
No, that's a good one. No,
that's my favorite.
My Shot. I don't know what's it called. Oh my God. One Shot. You only get. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to think the one you're thinking of.
Oh my gosh.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But Hamilton.
I love Hamilton.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take it. Well, I think that's the best one we've had all year. We've had some good ones, but that's the best one. Well, Jaime, appreciate your time, and best of luck here the rest of this season.
Thank you. I'm gonna go have a beer now.
There we go. Happy birthday.
Well, appreciate Jaime. A happy birthday to him. Got it again. He celebrated for sure after the win, and jumping in here. Exciting to see him. Exciting to see this team really come together in these first 6 weeks plus training camp. It's really been I continue to say this. This has been the closest I've seen a team come together in this short amount of time. I don't know what it is with guys that have played with each other in the past, either in college or in the league. That culture is already there. Jaime said they're still working on building it, but again, it's early. Championships aren't won now; they're won in August. Take it a week at a time. So it was great to get his insight with this group, with him. We'll jump things into our forecast for the week. Again, 7 games, 14 teams in action. Green Bay gets things started on Friday night. Everything else is over the weekend. And our first one is out west, Northern Arizona, San Antonio. Someone's got to get the first win.
Yep. I'm going Northern Arizona. They played a great game against Arizona this last week. Couple things go their way and they get a huge upset. So I think San Antonio's got a really good defense. They could possibly keep them in check, but I think Northern Arizona just wants it a little bit more. So
Northern Arizona was hanging around for a long time with Arizona. I think they had a chance to win that one in the fourth quarter. I will go with the Wranglers. But we have some old friends with San Antonio. It'll be exciting to see them come in a couple weeks. Lowell Patron just got traded there this week. Sintel Williams is there. Ravarius Rivers still in the IFL, back from the UFL. He's with the Gunslingers. So old friends in San Antonio, would be exciting to see them get a win. It should be exciting to see them down the line. But I will go with Northern Arizona coming off of hopefully trying to build on some of that momentum they got at home in the Arizona game. Another one, out east, it is Iowa. Poor Iowa. They have to take on arguably, I would say, the top 3 teams in the East. Well, I think that could be a debate. We'll get to that in a second. But Iowa having to play Green Bay, Fishers, Quad City. Just those 3 teams over their first 6 games. Not really much of a change of pace.
Yeah.
They get Fishers once more, and a team that just beat them by 30 a week ago.
I mean, do I have to say who I think is going to win? I mean,
Are you going to go with Fishers?
I'm going to go with Fishers, yeah. I mean, Iowa needs something to change, and it's not going to happen over the span of a week. It's going to take probably the rest of the season to finally get things going. And Fishers just has been looking great. So I'm going to go Fishers. I don't think that's necessarily a hot take or anything. So
it was a grinded out win for the Freight in Tulsa
Yes.
this week. Able to get it done at the end. I will go with the Freight. That run game, it is incredibly strong, and I think we kind of saw with Green Bay, if you're able to run the ball, you're going to be able to control the clock against that Iowa team, and I think Fishers will be able to get it done for the second time in 3 weeks. Tulsa at Arizona. Tulsa takes the tough loss at home to Fishers. They go to Arizona, who again looked a little shaky to start, but again, it's how they finished, and they finished strong. Back at home for the Rattlers. Where are you here?
I'm going to go Arizona. They played probably a little less than they would have liked last week, but I still think they're a better team. They've just been looking good. I think they're going to keep it going here.
I will also go with Arizona. Tulsa, it does seem, though, sooner rather than later, they got to get that big win under their belt. A lot more opportunities in the Eastern Conference, but those ones down the stretch, they lost at Orlando, lost to Fishers at home. Would be nice to see them get a marquee win on their schedule, particularly for the Eastern Conference sake, to keep the rest of the conference strong. But I will go with Arizona at home. This is a big spot for them, though. I hope to see them keep this one close. I think they can. I think they're starting to find their stride, but I will stick with Arizona.
They got a hard schedule coming up, though.
Yeah.
I saw the 5-game stretch on the broadcast and was like, wow.
There really aren't many pushovers, really.
No.
I mean, the Eastern Conference, it's not, it is incredible. There really isn't a get-right game in the East. You have to come prepared every single week. And Green Bay has that coming up here over this 4-game stretch. Orlando at Fishers, Quad City at home, and at Tulsa. So right in a row there, those 4 tough games. It kind of just goes to show the strength of the Eastern Conference. Would be nice to see them get a win here.
Yes.
Go with Arizona. New Mexico at Vegas. Kyle Moore-Brown, the head coach for the Chupacabras, and Jerome Johnson going back to Vegas. They played them. Again, I think that this is a spot where New Mexico is coming off of getting it. It was an interesting one in Tucson. I will say, to say
that's
the least.
That's a good word for it. Yeah,
it was an interesting one. It was a grinded out affair. I think they got to show more potential on offense to try and keep stride with Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas has just been looking great. San Antonio's got a good defense and couldn't hold them under 60 points. So Vegas we got lucky with our win. I'm not saying lucky, but
It was before they hit their stride.
Yes,
for sure.
that's exactly what I mean. Before they started locking in, glad we got our win when we did. But Vegas just has been looking great. I'm going with them this week. New Mexico's going to want kind of like a revenge game, right? Facing your old team. But I think Vegas is just stacked up.
Keep it at home. Jacksonville at Quad City. Quad City, I don't know what's going on. They lose to San Diego on the road. It was a short week and a West Coast trip. Obviously, that's going to be tough. But you welcome in Jacksonville that they looked really, really strong against Orlando. Jimmy Robinson's proven himself. Continue it year in and year out as one of the best running backs in the league. This one is a must-get, and it continues to be a must-get. You give them the benefit of the doubt because they are such a veteran-led team, but Quad City has to figure it out.
Yep, they do. They need this win. I mean, you're looking at 2-3 right now. People had you going almost 16-0 this year. You already had 3 losses. You need this win. But Jacksonville has been looking great. I was a little low on them coming into last week. I had Orlando winning, and they showed me wrong. Jacksonville played a great game. I'm going Jacksonville.
I'll go Quad City.
Okay.
We'll go different. It is hard to win in Moline.
That's true.
That's what it is for me. Honestly, it really is Jekyll and Hyde. They are really strong at home. They struggle on the road, and they have for the last couple of years. I'm going to stick with the Steam Wheelers at home. I'm glad we're a little different here. I appreciate your rationale. I honestly was going to try to force a Jacksonville win, but I'll take the home Wheelers in this one. I feel like that's a strong pick to take.
I can see it either way.
For sure. Tucson, San Diego, last one of the week before we get to Orlando, Green Bay. Tucson had San Diego really towards on the ropes a couple weeks ago in Tucson. Now they go to San Diego. San Diego's offense looked really strong last week. Tucson's not so much. They did there was a change at quarterback that they made from Draylen Ellis, but Tucson finding ways to win. But I think they're trying to get a chance here to get a signature win in the West to kind of stamp themselves as above the rest of that pack to make the playoffs. I'll jump right in. I won't pick that. I'm going to go San Diego. I think their offense is too strong.
Yeah, I'm going San Diego. They had their one weaker game against Arizona, but other than that, they've been looking phenomenal so far in the West. So there's a reason everyone thinks they're going to be one of the 3 lock-in playoff teams. So I'm going to go San Diego as well. I think Tucson could pull an upset. Like you said, they almost had them last time. So maybe they just need one more attempt against them and can pull the upset, but I'm gonna go San Diego.
San Diego, between Nate Davis, who's been doing this for a long, long time, Ed Vander, I'd put him at top 3.
Yeah.
I think that top 3 running back in the league. I don't think that. I think that honestly is too conservative. I think you could have put him a little higher on that list, but between that and the weapons that they have, and Taylor Jennister's a great offensive play caller. I trust that group in getting the win at home. That'll wrap things up for the rest of the slate. We'll go into the Blizzard blueprint this week as they take on Orlando. A renewal of the rivalry. Obviously, a lot of history between Green Bay and Massachusetts when they were in Massachusetts. A lot of great affairs, especially the ones that come at the Resch Center. You've had an Eastern Conference championship. You've had comebacks. You've had massive upsets. Last year, Green Bay finishing off the sweep and eliminating the Pirates from the playoffs. Now, it's a lot of those same players that are going to be making the trip, but it's a new city, a new trip. Obviously, they've had some shakeups here in the last couple weeks. We alluded to it last week. No Rob Keefe at the helm. It's Rod Windsor. This is obviously a bit of a different change of pace where we've seen their defense start to take a step back in the last couple.
Yeah, the biggest thing for us is going to be limiting the offense. They got some great weapons at wide receiver. Paxton DeLawrence been stepping in for Talio's shoes pretty well. He had like 250 yards passing last week. They just look great on offense. A lot of back and forth, just chuck the ball deep and hope someone comes down with it. So limiting that's going to be great, or the goal for Green Bay.
Yeah, offensively for Green Bay, they've spread the ball around a lot over the last couple of weeks. We alluded to it on the broadcast. There really is no wide receiver one. Even Drayshawn Hudson, who came into the week leading the league in receiving yards, you only had a little bit of an impact on the game. It really was getting the run game going, but you're able to get guys like Isaac Ross, who haven't been in the rotation. He had a big pitch and catch with Liam Thompson early on in that game. Demylon Brown catching a 45-yard catch and run, essentially 30 yards of yards after catch. That's rare to see in the IFL, and he was able to turn on the afterburners. There are weapons, but there's not really that one guy.
Yep.
Is that a pro or a con here in this type of matchup?
I think that's a pro. I think a lot of teams, I'm going to mention Quad Cities specifically, where they have one really good wide receiver. They have other really good wide receivers, but they've been using Keon as that one wide receiver one. And if you stop him, you will most likely, you can win the game. Green Bay, it's hard. Every single guy's can and will make a play if you leave them open. So you can't really double cover anybody. You have to play man on man and hope you can lock them down, but someone's going to get open.
What's your favorite memory from the Blizzard Pirates rivalry?
Yeah, that's got to be, I think it was 21. We had Damian May. This was right after COVID. We were back and forth all game, and final play of the game, Damian May, our quarterback at the time, fumbles the snap. recovers it, rolls all the way out to his left, and just chucks it deep. And it was caught. I don't remember who caught it.
Keyslow Smith.
That's
yeah.
it. Thank you. I knew it was one of the.
There have been a
one
couple of
Ks.
Hail Marys between
Yes.
Blizzard and the Pirates. It was that one in 21. 22, it was Jack Sheehan to Des Stewart.
Yep.
That one's still one of my favorites. I would say that one's my favorite because Green Bay came in, I think, 0-5. They had lost 8 straight. The Pirates coming off of a championship win. They had the longest active winning streak of anyone in the IFL. I still think that's one of the biggest upsets that you could possibly concoct. A team that is 0-5, 0-6 against the defending champs that started undefeated. Like, I've heard other ones from way back when, like someone beating Sioux Falls that they shouldn't have. That was one of the biggest upsets for me, and that was a great night to have. Around this time of year, 2022.
Yeah, we've had a great rivalry with them. It feels like every game, at least at the Resch, has been really, really close. I think except for that Eastern Conference Championship a couple years ago. Yeah. Every single game seems to come down to the wire, whether it's us or them. But it's a great rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, they've had some big wins here too. Overtime wins. I think they've had some big nights on Kids Night too, that's what's coming up. I like this matchup. It's always fun at the Resch Center, and now I think especially now we're seeing the Pirates come back into form as they have in recent years, as opposed to where they were last year. It is really exciting to see them. It'll be good to see them back in form as they have been, and I think we'll have a really good battle on our hands on Friday night.
Yes. Yep. I think it'll be a great game, and I hope we move to 5-1.
Awesome. Well, that'll wrap things up for this week's episode, week 7 here for the Cold Front Podcast. That's BJ Steffen. I'm Joey Bonadonna. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. We'll see you in the next one. We'll wrap things up as we always do.
Go Blizz.